I'm John Adams, Massachusetts representative to the Continental Congress. I have come to speak to you about the Declaration of Independence, which was read here in Easton on July 8, 1776, at 12 noon on the courthouse steps in the Great Square. The Declaration of Independence is the document that declared to the world our independence from Britain, and is the document that is the birth of the United States of America. Let us consider for a moment, ponder to understand the opening lines of the Declaration of Independence. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they declare the causes that impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I, John Adams, as a member of the Continental Congress, not only signed the Declaration of Independence, but I was on the committee to write it, along with Thomas Jefferson of Virginia and Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania. Many of you might be familiar with a version of the Declaration of Independence that shows all the signatures upon it. I want you to know, I'm here to tell you, that we didn't actually sign the Declaration of Independence on July 4th. Many of us signed it on August 2nd, some as late as November. Now, let me tell you what actually happened. On July 4th, we agreed upon the draft that was in Thomas Jefferson's handwriting of the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson had put in a lot of language railing against the evils of slavery, and the Continental Congress edited that out, and Thomas was very upset about that. But at the end of the day, we took his copy over to the congressional printer, who was John Dunlap, not Benjamin Franklin. Franklin gets credit for far too many things, in my opinion. But the printer was John Dunlap. And what we did is we stayed up late into the night and printed about 200 copies of what became known as the Dunlap Broadside. And the Dunlap Broadside was the actual document that went out to Easton, to Trenton, to Philadelphia. I believe Washington read it on July 9th in Manhattan. Now, I have here a copy of the Dunlap Broadside. And what you will notice is that at the bottom, the only name is John Hancock and the attesting secretary. So the names of the signers did not appear on the original document that went out to be read on July 8th. It wasn't until a year later, in 1777, that Congress commissioned a broadside that did have the names, and this became known as the Goddard Broadside. Now, at the bottom of this document, you can see the names of the signers, but also that this was put out by Mary Catherine Goddard. Her name appears on the document. She is, of course, a woman. So in 1777, it's unusual for a woman to own a business. She owned her own printing shop and was a postmaster general for Baltimore, and also was brave enough to put her name on this very treasonous document that would have gotten her in much trouble if she fell into the hands of the British authorities. Mary Catherine Goddard is a brave person and a name that we don't hear about much anymore, and we owe her a great deal of thanks. So, those are a few facts about the Declaration of Independence, a grand experiment in democracy built upon the foundation of the unalienable rights of mankind.